So you brought up a website a lot, obviously, and I kind of wanted to veer towards that and talk a few pieces on that because that is something that you guys obviously offer and specialize in online access. What are some of the core elements? And I know that we're being pretty high level here, but what are some of the core elements that a good website should have?
Well, in our industry, and I would say even any contracting industry, really, I think, and I did a whole article and write up recently about this, but for at a high level, just out of the gate, a clear depiction of what services you offer right off the top and where you offer them, and a direct call to action on how people can book a call you right away. It is the most frustrating thing in the world. And I'm sure everybody's been through this where they find somebody, but they cannot easily find contact information, or they're just pushed to an FAQ or a web chat. And it's maddening because all you want to do is call and talk to somebody, or you want to fill out a form right away. All of these need to be things that you clearly have on your webpage as a clear call to action in a way that somebody can get a hold of you directly, whether it's through text, whether it's through a chat, maybe it's through a phone call, which honestly we still have a large part of the population that will prefer to book over phone call. And if they're spending X amount of dollars with you to replace a system, I'm pretty sure taking a phone call is not going to be too big of a deal. And yet you'd be surprised that it's one of the things that doesn't get answered. But the website needs to also lay out clearly what services you offer. And I know that seems like a no-brainer, but if you have services that are side services, whether they're, I know a lot of people do generators, a lot of people do fireplaces, a lot of people will also offer like blower door testing or solar or whatever it is that's outside the beaten path of what your main services are. Maybe you already put those on there as well, because one of the things is it's so much easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to create a new one. And most of your existing customers probably don't even know secondary services you offer. And knowing the area, because it is such a service area based thing, how far, what's your bubble? What are your limits? If I'm calling you, do you service this area? Do you actually do service where I'm at? We are trapped in a Google world where Google bases our area by proximity, and yet a service area business like a contractor easily does a 20, 30 to 50-mile radius around them, yet Google only gives them credit for what's immediately in their address area. And so being able to list that on your website and be clear about that you travel to these locations is really a big deal for consumers. So they know where they're going and who's available to them, even if you're not located in their city. There's a lot of different things for web design. A lot of people really, and I get on this soapbox all the time, a lot of people get really dependent on stock photos. And it drives me up a wall because we are in a digital age and it is so easy to get cell phone camera pictures, even. Our cell phones are taking a quality photo that people have the ability to do pictures anywhere. And you don't have to have a stock family photo. You can, I mean, just as easy as taking your van, getting your team in front of it, getting some pictures, maybe getting pictures of your guys wearing your uniform in front of a unit rather than the stock family guy. And nobody wants to see that stock photo technician with the yellow hat anymore. He needs to go because it is one of the things that people relate to. Are you in my area? Are you a real person? Do you have a picture of your family on your site saying this is a family business and we stand by what we do, and you have a trust factor that goes along with that? If you want to be extra and grab pictures of your company vehicle next to landmarks in different cities you offer, that is another thing that anchors you to your community because people realize that you are local and that you are invested. So pictures are one of the things that contractors constantly miss the mark on because everybody's too busy and they assume it's not a big deal. It's never a priority. And yet it's such the easy thing to do with your cell phone cameras to take a company picture day or take 10 minutes or hire some sort of struggling high school, college student intern to take pictures for you for a day. I mean, it is such a big deal. And if you look at those larger scale companies out there, they don't use stock photos. They have all pictures of their own technicians and their own people. And it is not hard for any size company to do.